This is the Fifth Estate, coming to you from the Fort Hall School of Government in Nairobi, Kenya, and Professor Mutahi Nguni. On May 26th this year, a nondescript MP called George Kiombori was abducted in church. The following day, he was found unconscious in a coffee plantation. Then, as it turned out, the abduction was fake. The fellow had abducted himself, drank the whole night, and slept in a Kiambu lodging. The following morning, he drove to a coffee plantation where they found him abducted. This story was absurd. But what was more absurd is what Gachagua told us. He said that the DIG of police, Albert Lagat, had abducted the MP. That the DIG had actually formed a killer squad made of Nandis. And that this Nandi squad was meant to abduct and kill opponents of Ruto. This is the first time we ever heard of Eliud Lagat. 2 weeks later, a smear campaign was launched against Lagat on Twitter. It was vicious and scandalous. We got to know him more. Then, on the anniversary of Gen Z protests, Albert Ojwang was killed in the most unfriendly way. And boom, country went bonkers. But was this intentional? From the fake abduction blamed on Lagat to Albert Ojwang, who is the lowest common denominator? And who benefits?
As a young student of law, I am not qualified yet to pass judgment. All I know is the doctrine of cui bono, or who benefits. In criminal law, as in common sense, the beneficiary of a murder is always assumed to be the killer. And in the case of Albert Ojwang, who benefits? The beneficiary of his death is the killer. And on this matter, we must summon Gachagua to the court of public opinion and ask some questions. Mr. Gachagua, you told us that the fake abduction of MP George Kiombori was done by a Nandi police chief called Lagat. True or false? Is it also true that two of your allies were summoned by DCI for funding the June 25th riots last year? That they allegedly paid thousands of young people to invade parliament? True or false? And is it true that you have deep connections in the security sector, as you claim? And do you have deep connections in the police service? Mr. Gachagua, do you consider yourself a political beneficiary of the killing of Albert Ojwang? If no, why? If your political allies are alleged to have sponsored the Gen Z protests of June last year, was the killing of Albert Ojwang done to trigger protests this June? Yes or no?
What is our point here? We are experiencing the politics of the absurd. This is a situation where politics is irrational, and the intention is to confuse the public and manufacture anger. You fake the abduction of the Kikuyu MP, people get angry. You pay an innocent blogger to attack DIG Lagat, you give us the target killer. Then the poor blogger is killed in Karura Forest. National anger gets to a fever pitch. But this is not the end game yet. The month of June is going to be a tough month for Ruto. Compared to last year, the killing of Albert Ojwang has come too early. If June 25th last year was meant to be a civilian coup that failed, June this year is better organized. There are many bloggers who attacked DIG Lagat on Twitter, and they were from all over the country. Why target a teacher who lives in Voi? And why wait until he goes home from Voi to Homa Bay, a city where people slept in a stadium the whole night waiting for Ruto? Who benefits? If the civilian coup of June 25th last year did not succeed, the one of June this year is better organized. And we will tell you how.
Now we put Gachagua back on the dock. The court of public opinion has a few more questions for him. Mr. Gachagua, when you were deputy president, your allies were accused of funding Gen Z protesters on June 25th last year. Now that you're in the cold, bitter and vengeful, what are you capable of? Mr. Gachagua, if the death of Albert Ojwang, a simple school teacher, has caused such a commotion, what, in your view, would the death of a bigger activist do? If taking out a big fish would complete the June 25th civilian coup, would you do it? Mr. Gachagua, sir, you have already told us that the killer in town is DIG Lagat and the Nandi squad. You have given us someone to blame. Would you silence a big fish activist to fuel unrest? And if you have Ruto to blame, why would you hesitate? We ask this question because the object of aggression in the June 25th uprising was the finance bill. But June this year, there is nothing to be angry about except Homa Bay and Albert Ojwang. If you are associated with the fake abduction of MP Koimburi, would you use your deep connections to complete the revolution by taking out a big fish?